All right, hello everybody. This lesson is for my kindergartners and my fantastic first graders. You are going to need your Momot Elementary Art Room lessons for remote learning packets. We're going to first go over our learning goals and then the activity for this week's art lesson. So your learning goals for this week, boys and girls, is going to be 1. Texture in art can be a tricky thing to define. It can mean how something feels, that's the actual texture, or how something looks like it would feel. And that has a special name. It's implied texture. So texture is how something feels, like my sweatshirt feels bumpy, or it can be how something looks like, how it would feel. That's implied texture. So without feeling my shirt, you can tell that it looks like it would feel bumpy. We're going to practice creating texture with a pencil or a crayon or even a pen, whatever you have to work with. And you're going to try out some textures in the boxes provided on our texture worksheet. And then on a new page, you are going to practice creating textures using your art materials. Use the words provided on the texture worksheet and any others that you can think of and label your textures. So we're going to do 2 activities, our texture worksheet and then texture words examples. Okay, to make things easy for you, I think it would be a good idea for you to carefully, and you might have to ask your parents or an adult to help you, take the staple off so that you can pull apart your papers. So this we're going to put to the side, and look at this. This is our texture worksheet. Now, actually, before I put this to the side, you should probably flip it over and, oh, look at that. We have instructions for completing this texture activity. Parents and guardians, you can look at this, and kiddos, you can too. Now, let's take a look at our texture worksheet. It says, can you create a texture with just your pencil? Try some in the boxes below the examples. So here's our first example of texture. Now, you can look at it and we can try to name what kind of a texture do you think this one is. For me, I don't know, it might be like a hairy texture. Do you think you can try drawing that? I'm going to practice a little bit right now. Just making little tiny lines over and over and over again. You might remember that that is called a pattern. A lot of times when we make texture in art, it looks like a pattern because it's something that's repeated over and over again. So there's one kind of texture. Does it look just like the one in the box above it? Not exactly, and that's totally okay. But it looks kind of similar. You can look at the next example of the texture box. Ooh, and look at these. They're all over the place, and they look like a little letter, don't they? What letter is that you see? The letter V. So you could practice drawing little V's all over this box. Now, you can have them going straight up and down like a regular V. You can make them go sideways. Now, I don't know if you kiddos know about this yet, but this is actually a sign that you might see in math class. This is a less than sign or a greater than sign. It's getting kind of advanced. I don't know if you kiddos know about that yet, but just in case you do, you can make that connection. And I'm going to just add a little more of this spiky texture maybe to this box. And there's my second example. Check out this box of texture. Whoa, little jaggy, spiky zigzags all over the place. Kind of like lots of little shark teeth. I don't know, this might be more of a scratchy, rough texture. And this is just going to be a whole bunch of little zigzaggy lines that go from one side of the box all the way to the other. Keep going until your whole box is filled, just like this example right here. Now let's talk about that second piece to the activity. This right here, this is where you get to pick some other textures and draw your own examples on this blank page right here. So right below your boxes of texture that you just created, you're going to look down here at these words, and I'm going to read them right now for you. These words are texture words. So let's look at this first word, soft. Now think, how could you draw a texture that looks soft? Well, what kinds of things are soft? Maybe clouds, or cotton candy is soft, or cotton balls. So, how could I draw that? Maybe some soft, poofy lines like this. We could call these soft textures. This one right here, rough. How could we draw a rough texture? Well, maybe we could think about rocks or sand or, let me think, tree bark. Tree bark looks rough. I'm actually looking outside a window right now at a tree trunk, and the bark on that tree trunk is very rough. So I'm going to look at that and I'm going to draw some rough tree bark. And then I'm going to write the word rough. And if you don't know how to spell it, just look over here and copy the letters you see. Now, I want you to go through and try to think of and draw as many different types of textures as you can. I like this one right here, hairy texture. I think of like me in the morning when I first wake up and my hair is like all over the place and it's like this, hairy. I bet you never have that problem at home, do you, kids? Hairy. There. So I want you to have fun with this assignment, and if you get stuck, you can always look over here on the instruction sheet. Look at the examples that they give you for the different types of texture. All right, and you can always ask your parents or another adult, or if you got any other friends hanging around your house right now, ask them for some help too, or some ideas. All right, have fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.